and we'll see if this works. Old games are hard. Oop, as is staying up on a tripod apparently. 3 is the magic number. 3 means try. Try hard, tripod. Come on. Okay, we are back. We are back. Playing a game I fucking love. Welcome everyone. Boys and girls, young and old, whoever the fuck you are over in the corner, come on in, have a sit down. Not too close though, give me some personal space for Christ's sake. Welcome back to Low Energy Videos, because we are playing not quite the granddaddy of the Total War series. Rather, we are playing Medieval Total War Viking Invasions, which is the final expansion pack of the game series. It's kind of hard to find Medieval these days without the Viking Invasion expansion. But I've got the disc there, so a good long while ago I bought it on Steam, because having it, multiple copies of it, seemed like a good idea at the time. I'm not very good with money. So, this game is remembered fondly by a lot of people, and it is pretty damn good for its time, even though it's kind of bare bones and looks like shit. But that hasn't stopped me before. I mean, just look at me. I might not be bare bones, but I definitely look like shit. Okay. Yeah. Easy. The Viking period, the early period, late period, and yeah. Okay, so we should start with the Viking period, early period. The Vikings. Let's start with the Vikings. But let's start with the masters of Europe eventually. The great and mighty British. Perhaps I will take over all of here and then do an early mode and where I take over all of Europe as the mighty British. I'm a terrible Irishman. Then again, the Irish are actually kind of shit in this. I mean, here's also, yes, these are these weird claymation things are the icons. This was pretty damn good for the time. Hair was always hard. Why am I holding it like this? You know, ever since I got this thing, I've just wanted to talk like this. Just the whole time. So I'm gonna go back and forth. I don't fucking know, I feel more comfortable. How do I sound? So hello anyone who's currently in the chat and watches this in the future. I'm just jibber jabbering. That don't sound too bad. Okay. Playing the Irish equivalent to a harder difficulty set on the basic one you choose. Protected by the sea, divided by the largest British Isles. Ireland was never a Roman province. Blah 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 blah. No, but it was pretty damn impressive. We had a bunch of monasteries come over here and translate a huge chunk of books. So the Irish are very proud to say, "Oh, we saved Western civilization." You didn't, but you helped. You helped. Vikings are pretty... Actually, fuck it. Do I want to go Vikings? Do I want to go Welsh? Welsh. No one wants to go Welsh. Technically, the last of the traditional Romano-British are the Welsh. Ragnar, or should I go with Saxon? Oh, well, it's Vikings it is. They've got the best infantry in this game, but they have shitty cavalry, and they cost a fortune. Also, they have to convert everyone out of Christianity. Woo! See that? Did you see that? Now, I'm going to be a naughty boy, because I don't have time to do shit that takes forever. So, dot dead full stop dead ringer full stop. And full stop work Sundays full stop. That gives you max gold, and it gives you 1 turn building. One good thing about the Vikings also is that their homeland can't be invaded by foreign powers. You just can't invade them. Everyone else's job is to keep the Vikings away. I got lucky one turn and where I wasn't cheating, and the Vikings started a civil war that started fighting among themselves, so they couldn't launch any more invasions. They can still launch agents though. Pagan Shrine. Okay, let's have a look at the infantry here. You got the archer, who is generic, peasants who are useless, berserkers, which are actually quite useless even though they take forever to build and are quite expensive. Spearmen are bog standard, perfectly fine, early. Viking carls are good. Viking landsmen are very good. And Viking thralls are better than well, anyone else really. So let us better than the peasant levies that everyone else has to deal with. Okay, so we'll raise up an army. Your real trick, however, is to get your fleet into gear. The best way to do that is never have 1 ship on the map, have 2. Viking ships also have tremendous range in comparison to other ships. Most people's ships can only go 1 space. You can go 2. So always have 2 ships handy. As for buildings, always good to build one of these. They're good to stop agents who can be real dicks. They can be real dicks. Inns gimp the game, really, I always found, if you have enough gold. Stables to build Viking Raider cavalry, totally useless. Well, except for speed, it actually just gives them speed. Good for them. Now this, you get your loyalty for your leadership by giving them titles. No piety, no dread, some command, and a cume, which as a kid I had no idea. He's very loyal, obviously. Now next turn we can attack the Orkneys. Weird this doesn't show the Shetlands, which also were attacked by the Vikings. Of course it doesn't show Iceland either, so... here's my king, with some Viking Huskarls. Like I said, because there's no... I can also lower the tax down because I don't need to worry about finances. A great way of keeping people happy. Walrus tusks are precious here. Maybe use the trade with nations. Hi, Stefan. Welcome back. Hope you've been doing well. We're playing a very old classic. If you're as young as you said you were, you probably don't even know what this game is. Maybe you do. I don't know. Aside from Odin, with many mouths to feed, our people must look beyond their homes for wealth and land. These people of Britain are weakened by fear and hunger. That's a great way of reading. The people of Britain are weakened by fear and hunger themselves. Now it's time to attack. Take what we can and burn what we cannot carry away. To the longships and let the raiding begin. Now the object of this, if you're not cheating like I am, is to attack and then fall out, weaken them, take everything you can and build up your homelands with that booty until you have strong enough forces to permanently land there. However, I call bullshit on that, because you've got incredibly strong forces, and the game doesn't quite work like that. Neither did history, for that matter. It didn't. They could have taken land fairly easily. Crappy little archers also come over here, and next turn we will have a fight. We'll have a fight in our hands, we will. Picts have decided they cannot win this battle and are retreating. You have taken control of the province, facilities destroyed 3. I hate when they do that. You now control the garrison, and look at all that gold we got. That's some good shit. Den gold. Now we will just march down and continue our attacks. Leave. Now here we have to leave a garrison force. That's alright. There's one thing we can do. They should. They'll probably run away as well. Need a port. Need one of these. Need one of these. And need one of these. Ain't it just glorious, Rosa? Ain't it just glorious? I mean, YouTube is just the pinnacle, the sheer pinnacle of professionalism. Also, for the record, I live around about here. This is where I currently live. I can get some mountain nobles or some catapults, but they're all mercenaries. It is weakness if you need that. Picks up again. They don't want to fight us. So they're just letting us build up an empire at their own cost. Alright, that's starting to kick in. One heretic, one bulk Catholic, and pagan. Pagan situation. Pagan situation. Right, so, Rose, how have you been keeping? You been good? Give this shitty piece of land also to her. How the hell are they gonna fight us? Yep. Hit that notification bell. You know, it won't be so bad though, because when I do the 24 stream, I'm gonna be uploading tons of little videos throughout the day, so people don't want spammed. In fact, you know what? I wouldn't hold you guys against. Wouldn't hold it against you guys if you hit that, if you turned off the notification bell for that. Now they're fighting us. Yay. Let's see. Celtic warriors, pickish crossbowmen, and archers. Oh, this is gonna be entirely one-sided. I love it. Yeah, number them 2 to 1. Now behold the advanced graphics of 2002. I used to think this was 2002. And I remember watching one of those TV shows that showed shit like this, like upcoming games, and they were stunned about the amount of people we had on screen. Assuming it doesn't crash. There we are. Wow. Look at this. Heavy round downpour. Yeah, well, at least they got the weather right. Look at this shit. Is it not glorious? Were we not kings among gods? %. Oh god, yeah, I can totally imagine that. We've been getting a lot of feedback from people who's saying that they want to see their favorite creators that they've subscribed to as soon as they go up. We've been listening to you, and now you can. By only having a small subscription fee of $9.99 a month, you can get immediate notifications before the people upload. That's right, you can actually jump into their feeds even when they're not online. Oh, I also transferred the cash I've been getting from you guys for the past while into my account, so I will start being able to benefit from it, hopefully today or tomorrow, but because it's a weekend, you know. Picked a bad one. Come on. Oh, look at what's happening to go up a big old hill. One thing I miss is the kill ratio. It looked so much better back in the day. Charge! I love their stance. As far as I'm aware, they actually filmed people out in the car park of the Total War Studios dressed like that. Whoops. Oh, there's not even any hitboxes, it's just... Oh, beautiful. Your stripy trousers are no match for my ability to wear armor. No, we laugh, but our most advanced game will look like shit in a few years. What the fuck do you think you're going? I'm kidding. There. I also missed this. You can capture soldiers to ransom back later, but if you capture soldiers and then you're about to lose, you can kill off the soldiers as a big fuck you. The enemy are fleeing the field. Well, that didn't last very long. Just like the real pigs. Do 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 do.
Your soldiers now hold prisoner the wretched enemy general.
Somebody's getting sacrificed to Odin. Yay! Lost 43 men. Is it not glorious? But anyway, I was actually thinking of doing a video, but I decided to go against it. I've been watching a lot of people talking about incels and MGTOWs. And oh my Christ. Like, I watched DFF's incel and MGTOW video. And it was just so... The more they talked about it, the more I'm like, wow, that really describes me. So why am I not appealed to... why am I not have some sort of appeal towards MGTOW or incels? And I'm like, oh right, because I'm not full of fucking hate. Now how am I going to deal with this? Nothing yet. I'm going to instead just build up this thing. It's just been, it seems to be a lot of people are focusing on it as of late, which fine by me, because I find it fascinating. Just some of the shit they're going on about. I know I made a video about MGTOWs like a year ago now, but not MGTOWs, incels, same thing. Jesus Christ. No shit. Alright, so they've assembled an army worthy of Mordor. So have I. So we shall fight on the field of battle. And if we fail, We shall fail as we may. The border fort is better. It doesn't do much. Like, it doesn't slow down attackers or anything. It just stops agents from fucking your shit up. Now these two are much better. Improved weapons. The prince can hold the line if they decide to attack. Though if they were smart, yeah. I have no idea what their forces are, but it don't matter, because we're gonna kill them. Kill them! Yeah, outnumber them though, at least. That's a good sign. Of course, it's raining. The poor pigs. They terrified the Romans, but then the Vikings come along and literally wiped them out. Look at the hills. Like, there's nothing for miles around. There's some trees over there. It's like an early Game Guru design map. And if you listen to the guys who are talking in the game, it is for the most part this one guy. He's actually a voice actor. I've heard him on a few different games and a few ads. The "What's in your wallet?" He was that. What's in your wallet? Capital One, I think that was it. He was in that. He was also the governor in that Fire Warrior game. And like it turned into a chaos demon. Kill him! Kill him! One thing I like about this game over the modern ones is that it kind of it wraps itself up quicker. Battles don't take as long. I mean, this seems like it's taking forever because they're on top of a hill and shit. And they just got reinforced. He's massaging him with his spear. Look at that. Also, you'll hear a lot of this music in game. It's actually it's like public domain music. You'll hear it elsewhere. There it is. There's the king. Dudes, I gave you an order. Carry it out if you don't mind. Thank you very much. You appreciate it? Yeah, I saw that. I also saw, what's his name, Kimmel. He went and is giving jobs to federal employees. Which I know is a publicity stunt, but you know, fair play to him. Meanwhile, I saw the libertarians are going around Washington trying to clean up the public parks themselves. Like, oh, libertarians, you don't know how to do things. There's the king being a badass. Kill him! Kill him! Woo! This, of course, is the second game that they made. They made Shogun Total War as well. A game I never really liked, although I liked the Mongol invasion.
Lies dead. A noble man making a good end.
That's it for the king of the pigs. I didn't know Pagan did a live stream. Shit. I didn't get any notification or like. I saw Evan did a live stream talking about his new album. Have you a chance to listen to it yet? Of course, I didn't get to see that either. Like I said, I've been watching DFF for the most part. So what now? Where's the enemy? Where did the enemy go? Oh, there we are. Ooh. Ah, now we have a siege, but it won't be much of a siege. Pig leader has been killed in battle. His son takes over. How long ago was that? Is it going live now or what? Because I'm not going to be playing this forever. I wouldn't mind hopping in onto that. This game is not quite the well, it's kind of shown its age, that's for sure. Ah, that's a shame. I like hopping into the chat, especially if I haven't watched the episode and then I kind of have to guess what's going on. Hopped into the one, I was on the chat there a while back when they did the episode with the feet killer. Oh, we should attack them. There. Go in for the kill. I wouldn't attack us if I were you now. Scottish man. No, not quite. Proto-Scottish. These are the Scottish. Interesting fact. The Scottish originally came from Ulster. They used to connect the two. And then the Ulster tribe became its own unique thing. And the Scotty here on the west developed as the Picts died out. And that is how Scotland was born. Of course, it was known as Dalria back then. Which is right here. Yeah, Dalria. Post-Roman Britain was weird. We say that, but people spent their entire lives in these situations. I doubt they gave two tosses. They were like, wonder if the harvest can be brought in sooner this year. One day they'll be like, huh, America? What strange land was that? Oh good, we can start producing these fuckers. Okay, I think that is indeed it. Castle assault. It's not really a castle, so I'm not going to. Not fun. Everything has a different interpretation. Like here's a brothel, and tavern, trader, which doesn't really bring much gold in compared to other games that have traders. They're useful to build up the oh, what do you call it? It's a word. It's a word, and I can't think of it. The endurance, the morale of the soldiers. The tavern builds up the morale, and so does the brothel, because of course it does. Brothels! Brothels for everyone. Ooh. Snark is the smallest of Viking warships, 13 pairs of oars, good for small scale raids and other ships with pairs suited for open sea. True that. So we will launch a massive raid against these motherfuckers. All at the same time, and we shall even summon mercenaries. So we can't. Because fuck us, apparently. One time I want mercenaries. Yeah. I don't like the condescension that they give to people. We've listened to your feedback, but what you really want is this. And we're like, no. And what's more, they don't have a leg to stand on there when you think about it. They don't understand their own algorithm, for God's sake. They openly admit it. They're like, there's a point where the algorithm does its own thing. And it scares us. And we're like, oh, that's reassuring. Yet they still think they're totally okay with lecturing us. Okay. You. Probably gonna lose this place out. Yay, more people to use as cannon fodder. Especially those sort of mysticism channels on YouTube, you'll hear a lot of this soundtrack. Alright. Okay, here we are. We have 900. Oh wow, this is actually going to be a proper fight. Demonetized and banned from the restaurant. How do you get demonetized from the restaurant? This is actually going to be a really big fight, because they've even got some berserkers. Which, a lot of people don't really know this, but when the Vikings came, After a while, when people started to fight back against them, they often had other Vikings to help them. Like the Battle of Clontarf here in Ireland. When the Vikings attack the Irish attacked the Vikings, and the Vikings came out to meet them from Dublin. A lot of both sides had Irish and Danish. These Danes wanted to become the new kings of Dublin, and they did. Have to kill the. This will be a proper fight. Also, these numbers for once are more or less apt. The Grey Heathen army had like 500 people in it. Yeah, it took over all of Britain. It was so much easier back then. Charge! Now look how they wiggle a little bit. Ooh. Run away! Why do you flee? Do you not like getting her killed? Have you ever tried it? No. I'm not going to play any action game today. I'm just going to play strategy. So when this is done, I've got another medieval game lined up. Medieval Total War 2. Which is a far, far superior creature than this. Which, in all fairness, are they completely running away? They are. What is wrong with you, Celts? Oh no. They're using actual tactics. They've reformed. It's kind of stupid because they didn't have the forces to actually do this. But, wow, I didn't know Stevie was in the chat. I demand more understanding and respect of the Forge. I like Stevie. He's a bit of an odd duck, though. Look what I'm doing with my spare time. Duck. If the money comes in today, I might go out and get some Chinese, which will include some duck. Crispy duck. How can I continue to kill you? It's really easy. Just fucking kill them. Fucking berserkers. What sort of Viking kills another Viking? The answer is all of them. Yes! Yes, to play fucking Doom. I like Doom. I like Doom a lot. But it's a pot roast. God damn it, just think of the marinated sauces it's been in. It will be tender and juicy and warm. They'll probably come with some really nice sides. They probably have a cold beer or soda, depending on your choice, waiting there for them. And he goes, "No, I prefer to spend my time here." Fuck that shit. Now, if during the 24 stream, someone said, my ma calls me up and says, "I've made," let's see the equivalent of a pot roast for me. I made this years ago. About last year, no, year before last. I made this great tuna noodle casserole that had hot sauce in it, and it was glorious. It's probably one of the nicest things I've ever made. You wouldn't think it, it's so bare bones, but it was magical what it was. If my ma calls me up on 24 and say, "I've made that dish exactly the way you made it," I'd be like, "Well, 24 stream is going to go as far as me sitting down and eating some noodle casserole." Yeah, pretty much. That is also true. Chelsea and Ashley, that'd be cool to date because they're really cool they're really good with their food. Actually, I know a lot of girls who are really getting into cooking. It seemed to be like a few years ago, a lot of women didn't know how to cook anything, and it was the guys who were learning how to cook, and I think that's great. That's when I started to learn really how to cook on my own. But like it's just a useful skill. Plus, no one will know your taste buds better than you. You'll be able to make a meal that you'll like or you'll hate. It's an army of yoga instructors versus LARPers. Skyrim LARPers versus yoga instructors. Look how good Celtic warriors actually are. But, you know, Vikings. They've also been attacking us piecemeal, sending out their army tiny bit by bit. That's so stupid of them. They gave us the high ground, and if... Well, here's the thing. You don't have unique tastes, though. What's your weirdest food that you like, that you know people will go bleh over in your life? Your family, your friends, partners, past and present, co-workers, whatever. I like very dry food myself. I mean, I like some most food, but I prefer actually like when, for example, ham or turkey is bare bones dry. I don't know, it feels nice and different in my mouth. Just first thing that pops in your head. As you can imagine, we're going to be here for a while. We have a lot of people in different coloured outfits to kill. Now, I'm not going to throw out words like ethno-state, but when they're all dead, we're going to start changing who they are and who they sleep with. Well, these ones won't have the same matter, they'll be dead. Of course, we're actually starting to lose now. I think our mighty Viking warriors are struggling. There we are. Kill them. I'll swing back around. They're still doing it so wrong. They actually had a chance to break us there and they didn't do it. Unless, of course, they're now completely full. No, here comes their leader. And if he dies, that's it. Their kingdom will break into squabbling and power vacuum. buttermilk one is not unusual, and I've heard of people dipping into their fries. Chocolates? Was that chocolate on your cheeseburger? Yeah, that's weird. That is weird as fuck. I have heard of it in songs and legends, but I never met someone so vile and based. Good sir, you are the reason why euthanasia should be mandatory. I love you. No. I only love when you like and subscribe. Afterwards you are nothing to me. Yeah, yeah, some of those are pretty weird. Others, not so much. What's the nicest thing you can make, in your opinion? Or can you cook it all? Look at all the dead bodies. That's one thing I like about this as well. It doesn't just vanish the bodies, they stay on the field. It's only a few extra pixels. Of course, back in the day, I think you actually had to have an option to turn it off. Alright, let's reforge. Let's reforge the steel. Oh, I know what hummus is. I've been to the Mediterranean. I've had it. I've had it like fresh. Meatball pasta? That's not too bad. Spaghetti and meatballs. Yeah, that's it. They fled away to fight another day. Stupid cunts. They could have really opposed us in this one. They didn't. Unrest in Alfolia. Oh, that's right. I haven't lowered the tax rate. There, now they're low. We're also going to siphon off some troops. Perfect. I'm just gonna spam them with slave army. Slave armies are loyal, aren't they? They might be able to take that shit back though. That's the only problem. Right. Of course, what the Vikings did was they would just raid and leave and start taking off little islands. Because you'd be trying to take on the Shetlands or some shit like that. Also need to start building up my fleet. Storms are the biggest problem right now. There. That was easy. Yeah. Te. That's all I saw. All I saw was te. Here's a castle, by the way. This is only a wooden castle, but still. That's unfortunate. You know what it looks like? It looks like a cheap sort of, in America I suppose you call them dime stores. We call them pound shops. Well, we used to call them pound shops. Now I suppose we call them Euro shops, but I still call them pound shops. Like the little toy setups and shit. Move me cavalry away, they won't be any use. Also, you don't need any sort of special equipment to attack a castle. It's just quicker that way. This one you just charge. Also, arrows come from everywhere in this. It's weird. Smack it down. I think Himalayan. Okay. Did you just throw a bottle at it? Does that make me like a Molotov? Oh, it's a torch.
The enemy state has fallen. Onward to victory.
Charge! Running around like a bunch of headless chickens. Hurry up! Has less of the impact of some of the other games, doesn't it? Just a couple of blurry images fighting each other. Look at this guy, he's kind of like, it looks like he's looking for shells or something. Oh yes, absolutely. They'd need to have some sort of, now TJ has a long history with Doug Walker. I think they'd need a reason to. Him getting a new studio doesn't really cut it. I think the whole Channel Awesome change channel thing, I think that's come and gone. I mean, nowadays Brad Jones kind of makes jokes about it, where he was smart enough to keep it on the down low. He kind of was smart enough to be neutral in all this. Now he's kind of like, that was some crazy times, huh? Yeah, he outright did worship him. Doug, on the other hand, probably has a vague understanding that TJ exists. Especially back then. I mean, do you ever go to Channel Awesome back in the day and look at some the creators on the side, the other creators tab, where you'd find like, Fedora Reviewer was one, I remember that, and I remember Josh Hadley was there before he got kicked off for being a racist piece of shit. No, that's too harsh on Josh. In fact, I'm actually friends with him on Facebook. Yeah, he clearly wasn't playing ball by their standards. But of course, it's everyone else's fault, isn't it, Josh? Old man yelling at clouds. Manson, by far. But I think he has a genuine longing respect towards Doug. I know he doesn't like Doug's latest descent into review into like the characters and shit like that, but he's always had characters, you know. He's always used characters in his things. His movies had characters. The cinema snob is a character. Malcolm has always played the devil. That girl who was there not too long ago, she came back briefly not too long ago for that special. She was always the daughter. It was just, you know, He gave us Santa Christ. What more do you want? When Mr. Medicure did his look at Channel Awesome, I thought for the most part it was pretty vicious, and a lot of times it was because those people who was vicious towards were on the left. But I didn't think a lot of it was true. A lot of it was hearsay and conjecture. Like, he more or less states that Lindsay was got pregnant by Noah. I mean, I don't fucking know. Maybe she got pregnant by someone and had an abortion and made a documentary about it. I don't fucking know. I'm sure there is. I love Channel Awesome because it was my first real foray into the internet. I had no idea about like how deep the well of internet celebrities go. Doug was just one of many. I found like earlier on today I watched Fellion's 100,000 subscriber thing, where he reviewed some Dingo Picture movies. Like, he's been doing that for years. He's been doing that almost before he met Doug with his Mortal Kombat shit. You got Nash, who's still doing shit. What the fuck is wrong with you? Lewis with he's my main source for comics. Lewis is Lewis Lovehog. I can't believe that's his fucking name though. Lewis Lovehog. I mean, Jesus Christ. That it for the... It is. That's everyone they have left. Ha! We have taken Fib. Soon all of Fib will be ours. Let's see who else. Who else was a big fan of? I'm a big fan of Bennett the Sage. He's great for anime information. Doug, not well, obviously Doug, but Brad. Brad is my god. He is my. Where TJ idolized Doug, I idolized Brad. He's just brilliant. I don't try to copy Brad, but oh. I think he still likes Doug more than James. And how has James improved? He's not doing any more skits. Like, it's not the same thing anymore. It's just he's there now. He's just looking at games. He's not the angry video game nerd so much. He's more... I mean, he still does them, but they're so rare. I saw his thing where he was talking with Macaulay Culkin. Oh, that was fucking mental. Macaulay Culkin is so disheveled looking. Oh my god. Malcolm, what has happened to you? And I also love that JonTron's back. JonTron's back, and he's pretty fucking good too. He's doing a pretty damn good job of it. More mercenaries, please. Bloop. 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 And bloop. Let us battle. Let us battle. Let us battle. There we are. Well, that's it for the picks. I'm not attacking another fucking castle. That was shit. for God's sake, PlayStation, why? That was pretty good. That was good. I was not expecting it, but that's not his old school shit. I mean, he's not going down the path of Noah by the looks of it, but I don't know. I'm not really feeling this. I'll leave it on screen for a little bit and just chat with you there, Rose. If anyone came here to see some footage of the game, I've given you plenty of footage of game, and I will continue to play it in a little bit. I'm just not feeling it right now. Like his reviews because they stay on points and eventually, which is not staying on. No, I wouldn't say someone. No. I think some of the skits can be pretty good. I think it goes by skit to skit. And the more you say skit, I think the more it sounds like it's starting to sound like scat. I'm the Scat Man. Oh, that reminds me also, Todd in the Shadows is another one. Lindsay's ex-boyfriend. Lord and Master of the keyboard. I am Lord and Master of the Forge. I live in a scat land, in a scat world. God, that poor fool. Did he not know? Did he not know? Scat wasn't that unusual back then, was it? Alright, it's definitely unusual, but it's so unheard of. Okay, now we're attacking the Scotty, and we lost. The Scotty, and we won. And the Scotty, and we won. Ooh, yoink! Rebels are easy pickings. This is how you win the game super quick. You just kind of spam units against the enemy. Is it noble? Ha! Fuck no. I think a skit can be useful to remove the monotony of what otherwise would be Doug just cutting from footage to his face, footage to his face, footage to his face. I think after a while it would just kind of... Well, that's what his old show was. Before he had any budget, before he had the Snobberverse or whatever the hell it's called. Plus, one huge thing about a skit is that, for the most part, you won't get copyright claimed because you're doing your own material. Well, that's it for the Scottish. Oh. Yeah, it's kind of like Adam Sandler taking movie scripts so he can go to on big holidays and shit. Like, it might be a bit shitty to a degree, but it's not something we don't understand. It's just, you know, not of the highest quality. We need more boats. More boats, damn it. Okay. Let's wrap this bad boy up. Yeah, what I wanted to do today, actually, and I really now kind of regretting I didn't do it. While I had the passion to talk about it, I'm not feeling it now. While I had the passion, I wanted to talk about those incel videos I saw. And like, it gave me almost new insights into incels and MGTOWs, but it's just... Now thinking about it, it's nothing I haven't said before or I can't say here, and what I'm going to say here is... You know, they're blaming everyone else but themselves. And some of them have so many sad stories, really sad stories, that, you know, you just feel for them. It doesn't justify it, but it does almost make them sympathetic in a way. And then the guy on Non Sequitur who was talking about how he was, how that guy, what, the Supreme Gentleman or whatever the hell his name is, he was a, he wasn't an incel, so they're kind of backtracking. Fair enough, fair enough. They're not all they're not all psychotic weirdos who want to kill people, but there's plenty of them that do justify that shit. It was the society that we live in that allowed this thing to happen. He was as much of a victim as all the people he killed. And as for men's rights, it's the same basic principle, only they do it a much more fuck women, women are pieces of shit compared to I'm lonely. Okay, why don't you do something about it? Because no one will care. I also saw Non Sequitur did a thing with G-Man and Amon Ra. I'm looking forward to seeing that. But we all know how that's going to end up. You see, G-Man, he wins. He always wins. So the best way for him not to win is just to not talk to him. Preaching to the choir ministries. I seem out of it, I'm not. I'm just kind of regretting my game choice here. I didn't want to play Oblivion, and I don't have to. I don't have to do anything, but I kinda wanted to do something. Tell you what I'm really after, and I kind of hope that I get my money today. I'd really like a Subway. Subway's not great, but every once in a while I get a hankering and I want a damn Subway. I will go out and get it. I'll get into the bus and go down to the village again. Alright. Actually go to war and take this guy's land. It goes much deeper than that, and you know, some incels will say this and some incels will say that, but incels want to be, what they want is literally, imagine me gaining tons of weight, not washing, not leaving my apartment, gaming and bitching and never interacting with anyone, right? Actually, forget the weight part. Just becoming scruffy and smelly and socially awkward, like completely awkward, not talking to anyone. And then the door opens and this beautiful woman walks in and says, "As you are, I accept you and I will be with you for the rest of my life and I will take care of you. And you don't have to do anything. You don't have to do anything to improve yourself." That's what an incel is after. That's why they won't even go as far as like pay for it a lot of times. No, they don't. And you know why that is? And this is something that I can relate to. Because if you put effort in, there's a chance you'll fail, and if you fail, that's more scary than not trying. A while back I was playing that Euro Truck game and I made fun of that line from The Simpsons. We've tried nothing and we're all out of ideas. That's what an incel is. We've tried nothing and we're all out of ideas. So instead of them going, well, I need to get into shape, physically, mentally, actually no, fairness, not even physically. A lot of people don't give a shit about how you look. And those people who do, probably, you know, you probably don't need to lose weight. You probably don't need to tone up or anything. You probably do need a bath, and you should do that for your own sake. You should have a bath, you should have a shave, you should brush your teeth, you should wash your clothes, you should wipe your ass properly. And these are all serious things. Like, people have really defended that they don't want to do these things, then they're shocked that no one actually shows up. But they'll say that, oh, like they don't accept me for who I am. No, they might accept you for who they are, but who you are right now is not a good person. Yes, pretty much. As always, Simpsons did it. Old Simpsons, and no, just old Simpsons, used to have the wisest shit. Like, incels, if any incel ever watches this, I am so sorry that somebody, I think the game crashed. I think the game's crashed. Alright, fuck it, I wasn't really playing it anyway. Yep, game's crashed. Hi guys. Alright, let's talk here for a bit. My conquest of the British Isles can be put on hold. And fuck it, I want to talk. I prefer to talk right now at the game. So that's what I'm gonna do. My channel, my rules. If you don't want to be a part of the chat, if you don't want to listen to the chat, then you don't have to. You never have to do anything. Of course, the chat won't fill up the fucking screen. Now it will. Yay! Right. The idea of fear, the fear of trying and failing is pretty bad. The fear of putting yourself out there is fucking terrifying. I am an Aspie. I have Asperger's. I am fucking terrified of social interactions. And if you get me in a room with 2 or 3 more people, that's it. I just don't have it in me. I don't know what to do. I don't know who to look at. I don't know who to talk to. I have no idea of spatial awareness around me. I don't understand jokes, even though, and after fact, I'm like, of course he meant that. And people who have other social anxieties, a lot worse. You still go out and you fucking try. You still go out. You still make an effort. But why? Because how else are you ever going to be not sad about it? How else are you ever going to... All you want to do is sit in the mud and complain. Why? What's that going to accomplish? It's just going to compound your own misery until you get so fucking warped you end up taking a gun to people, or slitting your own wrists, or becoming a recluse in your house, gaining 500 pounds. Like that kid I saw who's still living with his dad, this man living with his dad at the age of 40, and he's like 500 pounds, and he just plays video games naked all day and has to bathe in a trough. And he said he's going to eat and game until he dies. Well, first of all, obviously he's going to eat until he dies, because we're all eat until we die. But, like, that's someone who gave up. And in many ways, I suppose I like looking at incels and MGTOWs because it reminds me of what I could be if I was just a different mindset, you know. I cannot stand people who bitch and whine but then don't go try to prove themselves. For example, I like I said, I'm socially awkward, so what I do is I go out and drink at the bar. I even go and sit up at the bar and I start conversations with people. Now, the great thing about Ireland is that everyone always gives you an opening. How are you? Like, just, how are you? And I take it literally. I know they don't actually want to know you to say how are you back. But I take it as an opportunity. So I go in and I talk. I don't talk to everyone. I've learned that you don't have to just talk to everyone. And over a while you build back and forths. You build back and forths. And one day it can even result in a friendship. But I want a romantic relationship. It's the same thing. If you make platonic friendships with women, you'll understand women better. While you're at it, you might also want to look at it atomically, wise, the physicality of a woman, because incels and MGTOWs have some bizarre ideas of how the female body works. I remember listening to Kaya Orson talk to an incel, and he said that the guy said that it's technically not possible to vaginally rape a woman. I'm not repeating myself, man. The game crashed and I just started talking about incels. Like the whole game just crashed. You'll have to go back and watch that if you want to catch up. But yeah, Kaya Orson was talking to this guy, and he said that you cannot rape a woman vaginally because the design of a woman's vagina means that she'll feel nothing but pleasure, henceforth she'll want it. This is no. This is a big old pile of no. You can't do that. Like, you can't do that, and it doesn't work that way. The only plus side of this is that he's talking to an audience that, for the most part, won't even have the courage to say hello to a woman, let alone do anything horrible to them. If you can even call that a plus size. But these people want to wallow for the sake of wallowing, because it's easier than building themselves up. Like, the past few weeks I've been productive. I've been cleaning up my apartment. I've been bathing myself regularly. I've been trying to cut down on the food, although with my birthday about to come up and my wallet's a little bit flushed, I might let myself go for a little bit. No, it's been fucking birthday. Gone on holidays. And because the male G-spot is in the ass. Ah! Now, he doesn't even know why anyone needs to take part in sodomy. The way he talked was so strange. I think he must have had some sort of mental disability. And I'm pretty sure a lot of people who have, who are incels or MGTOW, have some form of autism. And that's not like an insult. I mean, literally on the spectrum of autism. But he said, I don't know why anyone would take part in sodomy. The idea of a man being sodomized is just wrong, and I don't support that. That's why rape only really exists in prison when man does it to other man, or if you have sex with a woman in her rear, then that is bad. And I'm just there like, this man is, no, this is a bad thing, he thinks. This is a very bad thing. And, you know, that is, I don't know if that's the standard response. I don't know if that's the normal attitude towards this sort of thing. But all the other incels I've been hearing and I've been watching seem to kind of follow that same guideline. Where, you know, women aren't even people, really. They're kind of detached. They're over there somewhere. And they're often the cause of your struggles. My cause of my struggles is that I've got no self-control, and because I'm lazy. That's my struggles. Notice how no woman came into any of that. No woman whatsoever came into any of that. Well, I don't know. And yet, I suppose it's like watching a ship slowly sink. That's a good comparison, I think, to incels and MGTOW for me. I find a ship slowly sinking fascinating. There's a couple of YouTube videos, and it's like real-time recreation of the Titanic sinking. And it takes like 2 hours long. And it's just slowly the Titanic hitting the iceberg, going down, lifeboats going in, flares going up. And it's just, I don't know, I find it fascinating. I just look at it and go like, oh, wow. That's how I often feel about incels, except this is more of a tragedy than the Titanic. Because that was 100 years ago, and a fixed amount of people died over it. Incels are still coming out all the time and having these bullshits. Because incels don't just hurt themselves. Of course they do. The attitudes they have. It's also just their mindset will eventually hurt other people. They'll go online. That catfishing guy who tricks girls, for example, who was on Non Sequitur. He's a great example of someone who's taking his pain out on other people. I don't like anyone who does that either. I don't like anyone who takes their pain out on other people. Like, if it's your own pain, deal with it. But don't inflict it on others. And he's even aware of it. This isn't something like it's just oblivious to him. He's like, I don't care. You horrible person. You know? At this point, you're no longer a victim of any circumstance other than what you're making. Let me have a look at something. Yeah, this is why I call these shows rambles as well as games. I game, but I also ramble. Of course I ramble. I'm Irish. Okay, so you can't see that. That's fine. Because I want to check out my count real quick. I feel a big problem with incels that care way too much about getting laid. Here's an idea. Take up a skill, learn to draw, cook, build, model, or to speak instruct. Exactly! Hell, at the end of that one with catfishing. No, not catfishing. Sarge. It was an interview between Sarge and Sarah something like that. I don't know. Stephanie something. She said, "Hey, here's an idea. Why don't you guys, instead of spend all day complaining online, why don't you do something fun? You know, why don't you do something fun? Like, hell, watch YouTube videos of people playing video games, even if you can't play video games yourself. Well, video games are great mediums of venting. The shit I've done on The Sims, for example. Or, you know, playing Hearts of Iron and have the Germans take over the world. I don't want the Germans to take over the world, then or now. But it's kind of fun to play as the bad guy. You know, get that creative, get that all those venting out on something. Focus that rage, that sadness. Perk yourself up. But instead, no, they just want to go online and have people, for example, there's a group of them that enjoy criticizing each other's appearances. Most of them aren't unattractive, they're just scruffy. Like the way I'm scruffy. I don't think I'm unattractive, I think I need to lose a bit of weight. And I kind of miss my hair. But I don't think myself unattractive, I just think myself, you know, in need of a shake-up. Right now. Hell, most of them will still think about high school years later. I'm just waiting to see. Alright, so you guys can't see this, that's good. This is some personal shit, that's for sure. Well, fuck Netflix. They took out some money I didn't want, but that's Netflix for you. I always love when they do it when you don't ask it. Yeah, like no one fucking cares, and some of them will still consider that attitude of like how a 20-something-year-old girl acted once. Like, alright, here's a great example. This is some great example of how I could have been turned into an incel, for example. I was at a bar years ago. You think I look bad now? You should have seen me back then. I was a lot fatter, had a huge ass beard that I did not take care of. My hair was starting to get tangled up, which was happening before it started to fall out. Do I look him? No, I look him because he's smart, talented, and works with us. Exactly. Yeah, pretty much. But I was there. I was there at this bar, and this really, really good-looking girl in like a cocktail dress, and one of these days I'll show you some ZZ Top's era low energy videos. Might even have it as a thumbnail, but that's all I'm saying on ZZ Top's low energy videos. But yeah, so I was there at this bar, and she started talking to me and she said, "You look like the most interesting person at this bar." And I hadn't been talked to like that by a girl in probably about a year up to that point. So I was like, alright. I was like really drunk. And I talked to her back and forth, and we got chatting. And then afterwards, she had to go to the toilet. She went downstairs, and the way I was sitting right behind the stairs going down to the bathrooms, which were facing each other. So I was there, waiting for her to come back, thinking about what we talk about, because, you know, I felt kind of good. I was chatting to this hot girl. Then suddenly, I turn around, and I hear her laughing. And there's this Chad at the corner of the stairs, chatting with her. And I watched the two of them chat for, well, I didn't watch them, I didn't stare at them. I just watched them now and again. Every time I looked back or had to go to the toilet, I'd just chat with them. I'd look at them, and they'd be chatting there for about an hour and a half, enjoying each other's company. If I was the mentality of an incel, that would be the moment. That's when I learned that women are all just whores, and you need to be good looking and wealthy, Like, fuck that shit. Fuck that shit. You know, I don't even know what was going through her head, but it was her head, and those were her thoughts, and you know, so the fuck what? As for people like MGTOW, the like, I think they're just, I think they're kind of worse because they dehumanize women. Is a beast from DC? He will be if he's not already. Like, at least that's the attitude I see. Honk honk. That's really the attitude I could imagine the beast being. I'd like to think though that he looks back at those older videos and goes, "Oh my god, no!" and just kind of distance himself from it. I've got to put a caveat in the description of this video that at least half of this is just me talking in front of a camera. No, I find them fascinating because I could end up being like that if I had a different attitude on life. Also because so many of them have different interpretations of what a MGTOW and an incel believe. But at the end of the day, you know, I'm not them, and I'm really fucking grateful for that. Instead, I'm just your humble low energy videos. Hell, how many incels or MGTOWs have like YouTube things who do stuff online, on camera and shit? I don't think I've seen any of them show their faces. Oh, I know one guy, DFF did. The Scottish guy or the English guy with the really chapped lips. Which, there's another example. I've got very chapped lips. It's not because women drove me to have chapped lips. It's because it's a very dry place outside. Need to invest in some chapstick. I always end up licking the damn stuff. Why isn't anyone buying my lemonade? Maybe because you haven't made any. Yeah, pretty much. When life gives you lemons, I yell at the damn lemons. They are. I think it was the great sage S. Ryby Jenkins who said they all need some blowies. They all need some blowies. Procrastination. Thy name is low energy. That's a good exchange. There must be a glut of weed in your area if you can actually trade them in lemons. Normally it's the reverse, you know. You go to the what would you call it? An orchard? Orange orchard, lemon orchard. Yeah, it'll be a lemon orchard. So you go to a lemon orchard with a big old bag of weed, and you go there like, hi, I'd like to buy all these lemons. Yeah, that's sure. But if you to take a bag of lemons to a weed farm, marijuana farm, they'd be like, you can have this joint. I made it. You know. And you'd think, wow, a whole joint. And they'd be like, wow, I'm gonna juice the hell out of these. Because they're lemons and I don't know. Suppose you can make lemon squares. And I would have been able to afford some, but alas, Netflix took the last of my money. That rich citrusy smell. Canines are looking for like ramshackle kid lemonade stands down alleyways and in old crack dens. Is it pure? Ugh. Yeah, that's pure, alright. Hey man, I was just holding that. They get you off it by transferring you over to Kool-Aid. You go to clinics and they give you little little jugs. Oh, the little packets, the little satchels. Hey man, I hear you. This is where you can get some Kool-Aid. Oh, I know the thing about college textbooks. That is fucking mental. That is fucking mental. Tell you that much. Like, just the cost of it all. I had no idea what it was like over here because I went to a community college. We got our stuff printed out on A4 paper, or we all just had it shown to us on the day. We were advised to pick up books on our own time with our own money, or get them online from a free source. I forget what that source is. I don't know. Plus they had a library. You can check stuff out. Oh, Jesus Christ. Well, I tell you what, I would hate to be in a going to an American college these days. Like a mid to high tier college just out after high school. Second high school's over, and you didn't get great scores. You got okay scores, you passed, but you have to go and apply for a college, and hello, debts for the next 20 years. No wonder they get so fucking shit-faced come spring break. I mean, they need to vent somehow. And no wonder so many girls take their clothes off on webcams now, college students. That's why so many of them don't last. You know, once they've paid off their tuition fees, you never see them again. Which I don't blame them. I don't blame them too much for doing that. In fact, I'm very glad that they do it in some cases. They give you the previous edition. It's the equivalent of them like putting laxatives into the drugs. They give you previous edition ones that all have like scribbles and notes on the side of it. We used to, when I was in secondary, primary and secondary, which is like grade school, elementary school for you guys, and high school, we would, at the start of the year, buy grade books. And that you were always told to take very good care of them. And the reason why that was simple, you just trade them in. You'd go into the bookstore, and you'd get like 40% off if the books were in good nick on future books. So you'd end up buying that. I used to always love that time of year because then you'd buy all the stencils and the stationery and all that shit. Perfectly beautiful pencils that would after a month would just be broken and chipped, and kids with good stuff does not last. I don't know what it's like in America. Something tells me. Oh yeah, you guys, I think you guys do roughly the same thing. You have to buy your own pencils and your own pens and your own textbooks. Sounds like I'm procrastinating. I am. I'm not quite sure what to do with myself. Didn't expect this stream to devolve. Oh yeah, absolutely. And I'm sure then the colleges will complain because a lot of those stores have kickbacks towards the colleges, don't they? I'll be more worried about just paying off your fucking fees. And then, of course, after you're out of college, good luck getting a job that you want. Oh, you'll find a job. America's great for that. You will find a job, but will you find a job you want? And the answer is probably not. You probably won't end up working in that game developer. You're probably going to be flipping burgers. You probably won't end up in that accounting firm. At best, you might be in one of those used gold places. But hell, work is work. One thing I didn't like about America during the recession was that you'd still get people complaining that there's no jobs. Bitch, there is fucking jobs. You go out there and you get them. This is why writing is what I'm going for. Fuck that. Yep, absolutely. Hell, fuck debt for me. This is the first time in years I am genuinely in debt, and that's why that's why this Christmas was so. Oh fuck me. Now it's just I've acclimatized myself to it. It's like the sun's still shining. Speaking of, I can talk while I'm doing this. The sun's still shining, and I'm still pretty. Not only that, natural habitat. I actually is not the worst. One of the worst that I've actually got to deal with. It's so bad. Not so bad at all. Suppose I am just now procrastinating for the sake of procrastinating. So, yeah, if anyone's gotten this far into the future, can you tell I kind of want to also do non-gaming stuff in the near future? Like, just talk? I mean, what's wrong with that? Nothing. Except people won't show up. Besides you, Rose. And, well, it says I have like 4 viewers currently, so... thank you to the other people who are in the chat. I really want to just chat more about things than just game. I want to do tons of stuff besides game, but I also want to game. So I should really start doing more of that. Maybe instead of doing 3 gaming streams a day on the weekend, I'll do 2 streaming. I'll do 2 game streams and 1 talk stream, where we just shoot the shit. Kind of like my pre-drinking streams. I can't fathom having to crunch for 4 years, get a degree. That's only landing me a job a year or so out of college. Yeah. I don't know, man. I mean, it used to be a lot of it had to do with bragging rights, and that's all well and good, but it still doesn't necessarily mean anything when you think about it. End of the day, it doesn't really add or take away your goals, but what it will do is give you tons of debt for what could be very little reward. I mean, you could argue learning for learning's sake is a good thing, and you are right. You are absolutely right. If you learn a skill or you learn some new information while you or even something about yourself while in college, then you can't just dismiss college as completely useless. But yeah, pretty much that, exactly that. But that, I have a degree that landed me thousands in debt. Good for you. What you should do is, instead of putting up your degree on the wall and framing it, you should get a little ticker that shows how much you still have to pay off to the bank, and have it like digitally go down. Actually, that's not a bad idea. That's actually not terrible. If you want to kind of own your debt, you're like, yep, there it is. Maybe I should do it. And every time you guys donate, that number will go down. I'd have to buy the ticker and then hook it up to my fucking like the arbitrary number. That would take forever. Doable, but would take forever. I've always thought if I ever did something like this, I would always get like some gimmicky things, like a digital clock. Maybe like a clock here, and then here, and then here, showing different spots around the world at current time. I don't know, I've been watching YouTubers and other creators on and offline just chatting away. I had a feeling in the back of my heart and the back of my head, there's a song in there somewhere, that eventually I would end up doing it myself. I think that's why I really call these low energy rambles. Although I did also try to call them low energy like let's plays, but I think someone already took that. Okay, for something hands-on like surgery or welding, actually going to college is needed, but for the most part, the majority of stuff is taught. Yeah. Hell, I completed a class in college online. Was it the French Revolution? The French Revolution, which I found fascinating, and it was from the University of Melbourne. I did a 12 week course. Does it make me a historian in the French Revolution? Fuck no. Can I hold a conversation for a little bit with someone who actually went to college and learned that shit? Fuck yes. What does that accomplish? Very little. Very little. It's the same with my philosophy course that I went to in the flesh. It doesn't really add anything. It's just something I did to improve myself. I very much doubt I'm going to get a job out of it. I didn't want to get a job of it at the time. Like when I grew up, most of the time when I thought you went to college, what you ended up doing afterwards was just going to becoming an accountant. That's it. An accountant or a scientist or something like that. It felt more like if you wanted a trade, you actually went to a trade school, which in Ireland we have tons of them. It used to be called FOSS. The government ran them. Metal Monkey, he did some carpentry back in the day. Yeah. Hell, what's his name in college? Mark Zuckerberg. He taught himself BASIC with the dummies how to program. That's actually something very important. No matter what you are into, there's a good chance, or if something you're seriously considering learning, if you want to learn it, online can get you what you want. Like right now, you can close down this video, type in something, say the Dummy's Guide to Speak French, and then boom, read it, get into it, invest it, and sure enough, there's nothing stopping you from learning basic French. Yeah. You need a major in let's say you need a major in art history. Oh, so in that case you want microeconomics. Maybe the two will mesh, but I don't know. I need to shave. I'm actually gonna leave shaving until I'm really close to the trip, because this week is the, well, technically not this week. Next week is the trip. Tomorrow I could say that. What the hell's that? Muse. Hi, Muse. Karma. Welcome to the show. Chat wasn't hopping in. Oh, that's weird. I could see it up here in the corner, but it's not coming up on the chat. But I still read it anyway. Welcome. If you're here for Medieval, unfortunately the game crashed, and since then I've just been jabbering away, which is in actual fact really what I want to do all day. Yeah, pretty much. You cannot make a souffle unless you know how to debug a computer. I don't get colleges. I don't pretend to get colleges. When I was in community college, what I wanted to do, hang out with my friends, smoke some weed, drink some beers, go on little adventures. One thing I liked in college, one thing I very much liked in college was media, the movies. We all watched movies and talked about it. That was cool. We had this really good looking, I wasn't a part of the class, but I'd hop in anyway. We had this really good looking tiny lady, Spanish teacher, and she told us, we basically talked about all these films that had to do with Ireland. The main theme was they all had to have something to do with Ireland. Now I always remember In the Name of the Father was there, and we were talking about what this, we'd stop and talk about this and that, and she didn't care that I wasn't a part of the class. She wanted me to contribute, so we all just threw in. We all talked about this, we all talked about that. I really enjoyed that. I really enjoyed that. I often would try to sneak out of my class and go upstairs and go into theirs whenever I could, because fuck photography. But that's something else entirely. The point is, I feel really bad for anyone in college these days, because, you know, when you're a kid, you're told college is like the last hurdle, and afterwards you get anything you want. Bullshit. I don't think that's ever been true. Not unless your daddy was really rich. And in which case, fuck college. You don't need college. Your daddy's rich. Play on some nepotism. I wish I had some money. Fuck you, Netflix. I don't even watch you anymore. I'll go until the 2-hour mark. And which is another 8 more minutes. Now 7. Then I'll take a break. And I'll really think hard about a game I want to play. I can't really think of... You know, I sometimes do understand the hate that people get over, like, oh, these black students got in because they're black, they have to reach a quota. I do kind of understand that, but those black, it's the equivalent of going to Vietnam. Well done, you're in Vietnam, you're all going to get shit on equally. Those black kids, after they get their degree, are going to find it just as hard, if not a bit harder, to find work. And then, will it be the work that they want? Some people don't even want work. You know, when you're always asked a kid, what do you want to be when you grow up? It's not necessarily got to be the same thing that you want when you're an adult. At one point, I wanted to be a train driver. Can you fucking imagine? That's a pretty shitty job, to be honest with you. Ha ha, Mr. Popo. Hi. Ah, yes, I can hear that. I can hear that. I can fucking hear that. Isn't that strange? Don't you think that's strange, black man? Yeah, almost about as strange if... Well, I'll do to you if you ever call me that again. What are you? Hi. First rule... What is it? First rule of Mr. Popo's dojo. Don't touch Mr. Don't talk about... Oh no, First rule of Mr. Popo's training. Don't talk about Mr. Popo's training. I love how he dates Jinx. I remember that one. I'll have to put a caveat at the bottom of this. Just descends into rambles. Mostly towards incels and our dislike of the American education system. Scotty Poe. Mr. Scott Poe. Kaiser Popo. Kaiser Popo. I always picture Scotty as a little nipping dog. Especially when he was a teenager. You wanna fuck with my brother? I'll fuck you up. I think he's like in his dad's coat or something. Like his sleeve is like kind of coming out like. Aww. Oh, he's screaming little Scotty boy. I used to have to be the only one defending Scotty back when he kind of stabbed Ryby in the gullet. Ugh. Because, as you can imagine, Ryby's fanboys were like, "Oh, how could you do that to Ryby Jenkins? Oh no, she's our mama." I'm just there like, well, you were defending a guy he doesn't like. I know, right? It's just, he's so talented. Nowadays, I think he could fucking kick my ass, but actually, I think all of them could kick my ass, including TJ if he ever just fucking threw a punch. I don't see them as weak. He's the one who got Ryby kicked off the channel because she was siding with Joe and pushing Joe's narrative. According to Ryby, she said that he'd been wanting this for some time. He just never really liked Ryby. Oh, I'm sorry if this is a big shock, but for God's sake, this is old drama. And of course, it's also mentioned in Admiral Murphy's documentary on DP. But she did alright out of it. She got a couple of new subs. She got merch with her face on it. A mug of Joe. Her mug on a mug. And Scotty did lose. He looked like a fucking jackass for blocking tons of people to doing that. You know? I look like I'm on my way to a match. Yeah. I just say no to Joe, but it's the same thing. Also, Joe was literally cancer. Joe would not be on this anywhere near as much as he is if Billy wasn't such a fucking enabler towards him. I think I've said my piece at this point on Joe. I don't know why I even brought him up, actually. Nice. I'm sure he has good qualities. Bet he fucks like a hamster in heat. Look at my gummy smile. I've been noticing that all night. Whenever I laugh, I go like... I laugh better than this. That'll be old energy videos. I will give him credit though. I thought that Cox phone-in thing was pretty good. You know what? With DFF talking about doing new shit, you know what I'd like to see? I'd like to see DP. DP's talking about the same thing, doing new shit. And one thing I'd like to see from DP, I'd like to see on the street DP, where they're interviewing people. Billy and Ben maybe interviewing people walking down the street, or at locations. Like, you know, with some radio or some talk shows, they sometimes go out to a location to do a special show. I'd like to see DP do that. I think that would be pretty cool. Billy alone must have tons of contacts. I mean, make it as a Patreon goal or something like that. I laughed now. Someone popped in the chat and said, "What country are you from?" I literally have 2 Irish flags on me. Well, technically, I am not from Ireland. I am from Cornwall. Yay, Cornwall! Cornwall! Got the flag over there, but that's falling apart. I'd love to take the camera back to Cornwall one day. That would be fucking lovely, especially in the middle of summer. I'd even introduce you to my uncle, who, he's a sweet boy. But yeah, absolutely. Racism. Come on. Alright, well, it's after the 2-hour mark. I'd like to see this as a positive, this stream. Not just in the sense that you have to go see a doctor and he gives you some bad news and pamphlet type of positive. I will be back in a few hours to play something. I'm actually going to go back and watch more shit about incels and if I have enough time, maybe some flat earther bullshit. Non sequitur. When it works, it's pretty damn good. But yeah, I kind of wanted to just chat, honestly. So I don't know why I even went through with the game. Maybe now I'd be more in the mood to play Medieval. Wasn't really in the mood for it. So we'll try Medieval 2, probably, later on today. So, Rose, thank you very much for popping in, keeping me company, and keeping me jabbering. I need to make myself up a sock puppet. I need some googly eyes. That's all. Low energy puppet. Then it shouldn't even have a sock on it. It should just have no. It should have a sock on it, but it shouldn't have googly eyes. It should just have like little bits of paper for the eyes. Oh, what? When Evan does it, it's considered charming. When I do it, it's considered creepy and stalkerish. Not the first time I've said that in my life. But yeah, I will be back on later. So, anyone watched this far, again, I am sorry if you wanted just gameplay. The computer crashed, the game crashed, and I'm rolling with it. But I will be playing Medieval 2, where I hopefully won't have to deal with some crashes. So, if you want to see that, remember to subscribe. Also remember to share this stream. Well, it's up to you if you want to share the stream. Maybe we said something tonight you like. Comment down below. I would really appreciate to hear your feedback on this one in particular. And I also humbly ask you to simply hit the thumbs up. Right, I'm out of here. See ya. Toodles.